Hey guys, in today's video I've got a sewing tutorial which is a little bit different on my channel, but I hope you enjoy and let's begin. I'm going to start by making the pocket. For this you'll need 3 pieces. The first piece is 9.5cm by 28, the second piece is 19cm by 28, the third piece 17 by 20, and also a zip at 28cm. Taking the smallest rectangle, I'm folding that in half, and at the outer edge I want to create a curve. So I just drew that with my pencil and then cut that out, unfolded it, and you have 2 curved edges. The curved edge should be the same measurement as the length of the other 2 pieces. So with my tape measure I'm just checking that those 2 pieces are the same length. I'm just folding those 2 pieces in half, and with my scissors I'm just going to create a little notch in the fabric so I know where the halfway point is. And then pin those 2 pieces together. With your fingers just ease the fabric around the curve. Once it's all pinned in place, you can take it over to the sewing machine and stitch along the line. Then place the zip facing downwards on the right side of the fabric. Pin it in place and take it over to the sewing machine. When sewing zips you tend to use a different foot on the machine, but I don't have that one and it can be done without. Then you want to flip the zip back and top stitch along the edge. Top stitching is just stitching that is visible. And with the final piece you can place the opposite side of the zip on top of that facing down. Again, pin it in place and sew it on the machine. I'm folding the fabric down just enough so it covers the zip. Add a few pins, and I'm also putting a pin where I want to do the stitching, and you want to make sure you're catching the zip in the back. And on the machine do a top stitch all the way along. And then I'm just going to secure the 2 ends down just with a little bit of a stitch right on the edge. Now on to the front and back pieces. So I've got 2 rectangles which are 32cm by 45. Fold those pieces in half. I'm just drawing a curve in the bottom corner, and also from the center top to about halfway down. Then you can cut along those lines, unfold the fabric, and you have your front and back pieces. And this was just to give it a little shape. Now we can add the pocket to the front piece. So just flip that over and then fold up 1cm and pin in place all the way around the pocket. With the iron you can press the fold to keep it in place, so when you remove the pins the fold stays. Flip the pocket back over, line up to the center and pin it in place and stitch all the way around. I'm just top stitching right on the edge of the fabric and all the way around the pocket. The pocket's complete. You have a fully functioning pocket, and as you can see it kind of sticks out as we curve the bottom piece. Now onto the back piece. I cut a square 11.5cm by 11.5 and cut it in half, creating 2 triangles. I then folded one corner of the triangle up 1cm and added this material called webbing, which is used for the straps, and top stitched a line to keep that in place. Repeat to the other triangle and then position at the bottom corners, and with a straight stitch I just attach those triangles to the back piece. For the straps I cut 42cm of webbing. For the fabric part of the straps I cut a 12cm by 45cm rectangle, which I pressed in half. Also I cut these foam pieces 35cm by 4.8cm just to give a bit more structure to the straps. So first I'm going to stitch along the edge of the strap with the right sides facing. Then you can turn it through to the right side of the fabric, and then with the iron press the seam. Then add the foam by sliding it inside. I positioned the foam so it stops 5cm from either side and pinned it in place so it doesn't move. Then I'm going to top stitch straight down the center all the way to the bottom. The strap for the bag I cut a 24.5cm piece of webbing and a 7.115 piece of fabric. First I'm folding up 1cm of both edges of the small rectangle. Then I'm folding up one of the other edges. Add the webbing piece directly in the center, fold the fabric over, add a pin and top stitch in place. I then place the straps on the back piece a few centimeters apart and the handle on top of those straps. As you can see I top stitched a square 5cm down and an X in the middle for detail. I repeated it on the opposite side and your handle is securely in place. Where the foam ends in the strap, which is 5cm from the bottom, I'm just going to stitch straight across and then unpick that stitching in the center up to the line. With my fabric scissors I'm cutting either side up to the stitching. I cut 2 pieces of webbing at 10cm and attach those to the plastic adjusters, pinned under the bottom 2 pieces 0.5. With a stitch to secure those in place, as you can see here. Place those pieces inside and then fold over the fabric on the top and bottom of either side. A top stitch all the way around, and again an X in the middle for the detail. Then we can add this bottom strap into the adjuster piece, simply done by weaving it through the top and back through the bottom piece, and just rolled over the ends and did a stitch to hide the raw edge. Now we can move on to the main opening. So I'm using a 60cm zip, and then I cut 2 rectangle pieces which you want to be the same length as the zip. The first is 7cm by 60 and the second 14 by 60. Start by placing the zip face down on top of the right side of the fabric of one piece. Pin it in place and stitch just like the previous zip we did. Flip it over and again top stitch, then place the zip down on the other piece. Fold the fabric over to hide the zip. Top stitch along the edge, and this is what it looks like. I cut 2 more rectangles, 14cm by 22.5, and I'm going to attach these either end of the zip piece, right side facing, pin in place, and do a straight stitch on both pieces. Open that out and do a top stitch right along the edge. The bottom piece for the bag is 14cm by 26.5. Right sides facing, attach the bottom to those 2 previous pieces. Add a few more pins and straight stitch down both sides. Now we can add that to the front piece. I'm just marking the center point of the front and the center point of the zip piece. Once you've pinned and sewn it all together, you can fold it through to the right side, and it's starting to come together. For some detail, I took this piece from a previous rucksack and I'm going to attach it to the front piece of the bag. And this is what the stitching looks like in the inside, and as you can see I just top stitch all the way around. And finally onto the last piece, we can attach the back, pin it all the way around and sew, and you're done. And you just need to open the zip and pull it through to the right side and you have a backpack. If you're wondering what fabric I used a denim.